year, both classes combined to produce the play Hansel and Gretel in Grey.
We also went to Bugmania, a whole museum filled with different insects and spiders. At Bugmania, we got to interact with critters.
In first grade, another thing we got to do was cook a gingerbread man. Unfortunately, it ran away.
We searched for days all around school. Finally, a school friend found him for us. Apparently, he had been in a local church for 2 months.
In second grade, I had Mrs. Schuster. That year, the classes were split up again, but we still worked on projects about Africa together. That was also the year we got 3 new students, Jacob, Nick, and Chris S. Third grade was the first year I had Mrs. Powell. That year, the class had fake money. We had to pay to go to recess, and we got paid to do our work. We collected 1,000 fake dollars and had pizza party at the end of the year.
I had Mrs. Ingalls. No one knew came that year. Lee Wade and Nate often came to our classes in 4th grade to talk to us about the book, which both classes reviewed. That year, Mrs. Slatt's 4th grade class made solar system cookies.
Instead of making cookies, Mrs. Powell's class made the solar system out of paper mache patterned around balloons.
5th grade was the first time since kindergarten that both classes were combined.
Trey came in 4th grade.
I came in 5th grade. Our teacher was Mr. Victor. We had a Latin American food day where we ate fish cooked with citrus juice and read stories being wrote about fictional people from different countries.
Mrs. Sabina was our teacher for 6th grade. That year, we learned a lot about people from colonial times. We even trudged through 2 feet of snow all the way down the nature trail to simulate the experience of a colonial child walking to school in winter.
We also had a colonial day with the Historical Society. We dressed like colonial kids and saw what life was like in a London schoolhouse.
That year, we went to a lab in Portland that tried to uncover the true identity of the catfish. Julia and Brandon entered our class, along with Elizabeth and Brittany, who came back to us from their Sunday school.
7th and 8th grade have been the most memorable years we've had. In 7th grade, we had Mr. Williams and Mrs. Hom. Halfway through the year, Mrs. Hom retired, and we got a long-term substitute named Mrs. Linebacker. Allison came back to our school in 7th grade.
We had a lot of great experiences throughout those 2 years. For example, a month after school started, during a spelling test last year in 2nd grade, one student raised his hand and with a straight face asked if spelling counted.
At another time, I had an interesting experience involving the senile virus. After Mrs. Holland sent 4 emails without anything attached, I asked if I could go to the bathroom. Stupidly, I wrote a chain email about computers infected with the senile virus. On my way out of the room, I told Mrs. Holland that I think her computer might have the senile virus. And I guess she thought I called her senile. When I returned, the light was off and there was no one there. Mrs. Holland said to come in. I entered only to hear her yell, "Now!" I was pelted with 30 crumpled paper balls. Good times.
In one social studies class, Mrs. Hong fell to the floor and looked dead. 5 minutes later, we decided to ask if she was all right. She was very offended that we hadn't checked on her earlier, although she was active.
In 8th grade, Travis and McKenna joined the class. Jordan P. also came to our school. We got a new principal and 8th grade teacher, Mrs. Hassett and Mrs. Stiles. This year, we went to the Farnsworth Art Museum. We got to view different artist galleries. Afterwards, we all got to go to Norman's Dairy, where many of our fellow classmates got cold ice cream. We have done this for the past 3 years.
An 8th grade tradition is going camping with Mr. Williams on our club. After explaining for 10 minutes about how many students love to fish in the woods, Brady raised his hand and asked if anyone was allowed to take a pole or fish.
A few days after Halloween, the whole school and community were asked to bring in their extra Halloween candy they were willing to donate to troops in Afghanistan. After all the candy was collected, we had over 50 pounds of candy. This event was called Operation Gratitude.
The CAL students teachers told us that if they got detention, Mrs. T threatened to make them stay after school, listen to classical music, and talk about their physics.
In science class, we got student caffeine lab. This is when each student tested their reaction time after we got extremely hyper by drinking 3 sodas in a very short amount of time.
I fell over and almost threw up on the guidance counselor's robe. And then got dizzy and almost hit my head in the bathroom.
Yesterday we went to 3 Rivers rafting in the forest. After getting suited up and hearing the safety instructions, we got on the water. We went through several rapids such as Magic Falls and Big Rock.
It was a blast, but also very tiring. In the end part of our rafting adventure, we got to relax and listen to music.
Over the years, our classes had very fun times, if you couldn't tell. We look forward to the years to come, but also to cherish